TNTM the show presents Comicast 298 with your host
Pablo Gunner, and I am here to talk nerdy to you about this week's comics, which is the comics of August 9th, 2017. To be specific, if you're a time traveler and you don't know what year it is, boom, you can come straight here to TNTM the show's Comicast 298 and figure it out. So, as I said, I'm going to be reviewing the comics, and I have my own nifty grade scale that goes strong by, weak by, strong skim, weak skim, and then pass. And then I also have the best book of the week is the back and bag of the week, aka B-Bow, as well as the runner-up for the back and bag, which is just the runner-up. And then I'll be throwing out this term contender, which is, hey, it's contender for runner-up and B-Bow. So I'll be throwing that out there. And I'll be throwing out some spoilers, too, because I'm reviewing these books. So that's what I do. I review these books, so there's going to be some spoilers, some more than others. You know, some will slip out just out of excitement. Try to be more of the hype man than the spoiler man. You know, I'm trying not to trash these books. If they're brand new books, I might trash them because they're news, they're number ones, or they're one-shots or something like that. But for the most part, I try to keep the best of the best books. Anyways, when I review books, I have a timer to keep me kind of on track. It's a minute for one person, a minute if it's two people reviewing it. Obviously, since I'm by myself, it's 1 minute. So review will probably be about 2 minutes. That's usually ends up being double what the timer is, just because, you know, before and after stuff. So yeah, this is what I have this week for the tone. If you know what it is, tell me. Be very specific, though, and I'll hook you up with a free digital comic. Any of these digital comics or any others that I have, because I have many others laying around. If you do want it, Nance, you know it right away since this is live. Tell me through any of our social medias, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Twitter seems to be the most effective. Or even through here. I've heard that people have difficulty getting through here, though. So, and I don't follow people for now watching like Game of Thrones right now instead of watching this. I feel like that's what I should be doing, but the wife's not home, so that's my reason. I'll just watch it when it's recorded. So it's all good. I don't know if it's actually on yet. But anyways, without further ado, yeah, here is the tone that I was talking about. All right, that's all I'm giving right there. Like I said, be as specific as possible. My phone actually might die during this. So, but whoever that I realize answered it first, that's what I'll give. And heck, if even if multiple people answer it, I have plenty of other comics to give away. So anyways, like I said, phone might die, so my timer might go out, but I'll do my best to focus and pay attention on to how I'm doing on time and everything like that. So anyways, so I quit wasting time and battery. I'm going to go ahead and jump into this, starting with Jean Grey, Phoenix, or it's Generations #1, The Phoenix. That's what it is. Cullen Bunn is the writer. R.B. Silva is the penciler. Adriano Di Benedetto with R.B. Silva are inkers, and then Rain Barredo as colors. Travis Lanham as pencils. So we have young Jean Grey here, and she's like on this island, and then she is like, hey, there's somebody else here like me. I can sense it. And it's Jean Grey. It's her when she has the Phoenix inside of her. She thinks that all the X-Men are dead. That's the point. So they are specific on the timeline where this is. You have is it Mastermind, or the one that can use the image-inducing powers? He was actually in the movies, but he was crippled in the movies. But Mastermind, I think. But anyway, so he's already starting to like try to influence her and stuff. And she knows this, and she knows the future. And so she wants to comfort her, and she's just having fun. And that's what was crazy is like the Phoenix really enjoys these human pleasures, like eating at these delicious cafes, going out and having a good time, and that's what she's doing. That's what she's showing Jean. And then she's like, you want to know about the Phoenix? Here, I'll show you. And so they go out to space, and she saves this planet from Galactus and stuff. It's just weird. Uatu even shows up and is like, hey, there's this moment where you can either tell her or not tell her, and it's a huge moment. And they really don't exchange much information. It just really felt like, I love the art. Art looks phenomenal. I love like how different the two look, even though they're the same person, just a little bit older, a little bit more mature. Even though this young Jean Grey, she seems very mature for her age. So it's what I've noticed. There's this trend already with the generations that's like, oh, it's affecting it, but it's not affecting it at all. So it's like, oh, they get a little information, but not really. Like, is it really going to help? Like, I don't feel like this is really going to help Jean Grey, like young Jean Grey. And it's definitely not going to help Phoenix. So it's another one of those where art's fantastic. It's a nice one-shot, but it just seems like a wasted opportunity to be like, let's pass on something really great to the next generation. You know, like, let's something really, really powerful that's really going to matter. And that hasn't happened in any of the books, like the Hulk one, as well as this one. It was like, hey, here's a chance to really change things. And no, it doesn't change anything at all. It doesn't help at all. It just seems like a waste. So that being said, like I said, it's interesting. It's well written. It looks phenomenal, you know, but I just can't give it a strong buy at all. But I would give it a buy. I can't give it lower than a buy because it looks superb. It's well written and everything like that. It's just, this is the nature of this Beast of Generation I'm noticing already. And it makes me want to not get them because of that. Oh, yeah, also, there's a digital code. But I'm going to keep it. Actually, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to give it away. Okay, I'm going to give it away. Here it is for number 4. U for Ultron, 9. M for Magneto, 0, 1. Z for Zeta. G for Guile, 1, 9. L for Lane. N for Nova. Next is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Dimension X number 2. So I think these are going to come out weekly until this little mission is over. So I don't know how long that's going to be, though. So story, Ulysses Farinas and Eric Freitas. Art, Michael Dialnas. Letters, Sean Lee. I like the art a lot more in this one than the previous one because it's more in sync with the actual main title and the way they do art. So it's cool. They have this, they're going to this other planet to get another witness. And so this one is about this guy that used to work for him, and he pretty much betrayed his people. He's like a sumo, but his face is on his chest and he really has no head. And so it's just like his hair on top, his top knot. He has this dealings with Krang, and then Krang is like, you know, hey, you know, I'll save your people if they work for me. And he's like, you said you would save my people if I worked for you, though. And he's like, well, I'm not going to kill them, but I'm going to take all their stores. And he's like, yeah, well, they're going to die because of that. And so he's like, oh, you're a traitor. And so he's labeled out as traitor. They kill him, you know, all his people and stuff. And so they're going to get his help. And there's this eye thing that he's put on his head that helps him see now because now he's blinded. He's blind. He was blinded in the fight. So they have to, like, fight him. They all take turns fighting him and stuff like that, and they give him like food. There's, you know, Mikey makes these pizza meals and stuff, like, of different stuff, and it's great how it all works out in the end. It's fantastic. I loved it. It was a great time. Art was superb. It was fantastic. I just wish, like, I wish that the fights would have been more climactic because they were over very quick. Like, it was like, oh, Raph got taken out. You know, Mikey, I think he was making food. Donnie got taken out. Leo was the one that was good, but it was a trick. There was a trick to that fight, and it was cool. But at the same time, like, I just wish, like, you would have seen more, like, there would have been more suspense. But like I said, they only have limited pages and stuff like that and panels that they can do. So I think they did the best with what they could work with. So that being said, like as much as I love it, but I'm a fanboy for Raph, and I think Raph's the best fighter. When in actuality, I think it actually is Leo. He's the most skilled. Raph's just like, brute force guy. But anyways, so I think it's more my issue with. I'm a huge my favorite turtle is Raphael, and it bugged me that he got taken out kind of quickly and easily. But then again, so did Donnie. But I just don't see like Donnie as like this huge physical threat. He's more like mentally, and more of a technical threat. Anyways, so yeah. That being said, I will give it. Oh man, I'm gonna give it a strong buy and a contender. Okay. Next, it is Star Wars Cassian and K2SO Rogue One. I think it's just a one-shot. That's what appears to be. Writer is Dwayne Swerzinski. Artist Fernando Blanco. Colorist Marcelo Maiolo. And then letterer Clayton Cowles. And it shows you who's like in it. Like it's kind of like a dossier, like the characters and stuff. And then the credits. So anyways, you have Cassian. He's with these two twins, and they don't communicate. But they do communicate. He explains that they actually communicate through scent. Like they change the ozone. That's how they communicate, is by changing the ozone. So they communicate. That's their alien race. And so they communicate with each other that way. And they're like, hey, we got to get this intel on this planet. There shouldn't be too many. And they're like, oh, crap, there's a lot. And they're like, okay, there's this decommissioned Star Destroyer here, or Imperial Cruiser, and so they're trying to take information there. Of course, they get spotted by K2SO. They shut him down and stuff, and then they try to reprogram him. It kind of works, kind of doesn't work, off and on, and everything like that. And then, like when it finally fully works, that's when you finally get the K2SO that we see in the movie, which is no filter. He's just talking and says stuff, and he fights pretty awesomely. And those twins, they pretty much have to sacrifice themselves in a way. Yeah, it's really cool to see these two come together. I kind of want to see more, but I think this is just a one-shot. So, yeah, it was really cool. It was really interesting. It was a little weird how with the twins, though. But then there was a certain point, and that came out to be really, really good. So it turned out to be great. I love the art and everything. It really captured these characters well, and everything really. So I can't complain. No complaints here. So it's a strong buy, and it is also a contender. So that's that right there. Here's a digital code for this, which is F for Finn 876, Q for Quasar, U for Ugly, F for Finn, C for Cassian, Y for Yavin, that's what it is, Yavin. R for Richter, 3, and then B for Belt. So yeah. Now it is time for some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Universe number 13. This is $4.99. The first story writers is Eric Burnham with Sophie Campbell, artist Sophie Campbell, colors Brittany Peer, and then the second story is story art and letters by Sophie Campbell. So yeah, this one, it picks up where it left off. Karai is with this guy that is the leader of the Yakuza. They're having a turf war. He asks for help. He asks for help getting this sword, this crimson sword that this other guy that used to be part of the Foot Clan. And so now she wants to find it. She goes to like her trainer and stuff and tells him. And so her and her mutant allies, they go, and it's great because she's just miserable. It's the Hawk Koya, I think. And so and she just tears her a new a-hole and is like, you know, I'm tired of this freaking attitude. You need to get rid of it and everything like that. And then she focuses. This dragon talks to her and is like, hey, you shouldn't be looking at this thing. It's just going to cause you destruction. But she does find it, but it looks like there's some bad things waiting for them there. Then it goes to the second story, Prey Part 2, which is Koya and the shark there. And like she's being kind of controlled by this energy thing that is now on her chest or something, and is freaking out. So yeah, it's my issue with these is the same thing that is my issues with all the previous ones, is that I'd rather have a full story than these chunks, because they're so broken up and so small. But then when you get the full thing, you're like, hey, it actually worked really well. Just like for the time being, it doesn't really seem that great until you get to the end point. And that's what's kind of weird, is that like comics can be like, oh, this issue wasn't that great. And then when you get the ending, you're like, oh my God, this whole thing was brilliant. In fact, this issue's better that I said wasn't that great, or this made a lot of these issues better. I just didn't realize it until we got to the end point. So this is another one. I'm going to give this one a strong buy. Next, we have Jean Grey, number 5, with Dennis Hopeless as the writer, Anthony Piper as the artist, David Ramos as the colorist, Travis Lanham as letterer. And so this one's great because she is training with Psylocke. And the way they drew this, just the way it's written, I can hear the voices of the characters so strongly. It's fantastic. So she's trying to teach her meditation, but she's not very good at meditation. She's like, I'm not good at this. So they go to a club, and she's like, maybe you work better with a lot of noise. So she does. She gets, you know, like it's like in this mosh pit, and they're beating her up, and then she takes these guys out, and they're like cheering her on, and she's like, okay, if you're better with fight, then we'll go somewhere else where you're more of a threat. And it's the radiated mole monsters, subterranean death caverns. And so she's making these objects and stuff with her telekinesis and stuff. And then she's like, okay, you know what, we're going to do it's going to be a little bit of both. We're going to do some stealth, because we're going to take out this hand building, as well as, so you're going to have to take out foot soldiers, but you need to place all these mines and stuff. And then she's in this tunnel. She really has to focus, like using her powers in multiple ways. And but someone else is talking to her in her head, which is really interesting. And so it just turns out to be really awesome. And this is something like she's actually getting stronger. She is learning her powers better, and she's just getting better, period. This to me means a lot more than that Generations book, because to me, like, the timelines are very screwed up. So it's like you have young Jean Grey, but she knows about older Jean Grey because was pulled out of her own timeline. So she knows about her and everything like that. But she doesn't know about young her going to that time, even though she's older. It's convoluted. But what I'm getting at is that they offered no help to each other at all whatsoever, really. And so, but this, Psylocke offers her help and makes her stronger. And this is awesome. This is phenomenal. This is phenomenal book, period. I love this. This is character work, not just I mean, it's great. Like, it's great character work on the Jean Grey part, but even like Psylocke was phenomenal. Like, her characterization was done spot on, and everything, you know, it was just so phenomenally well done. So this one I'm going to give strong buy, as well as a contender, no doubt. And this is one that I'm going to hold on to this digital code. Okay. Next, it is Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Co. Number 26, it's $2.99. We have Robert Venditti as the writer. Inker is Jordi Tarragona. Penciler, Rafa Sandoval. Colorist, Tomei Murray. And then letterer, Dave Sharp. So it starts with this one guy. He's a lantern. He's orange. And he has this vision. He's like, oh, I have to warn them. I have to warn them. And so they're, you know, they're like, hey, we're short now that we've split, you know, and then Hal and Kyle, they go to do this one mission where there's like this gravitational rift. This whole solar system has just been obliterated by something. And at the same time, these Orion shows up. And so they're like, hey, you know, they start questioning him. And he's like, I'm here because that thing is here. You know, I'm not the enemy. Then he gets attacked. And they're like, okay, we need to take him to the hospital. So they take him to this the closest planet with a doctor. And they help him. But they're like, hey, I'm at risk because something's coming after me. So now you just put all these people at risk. And so now all three of them are going to have to throw down with whatever attacked him with some Omega beams. So yeah, it's pretty epic. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty fantastic. I love it. It's wonderful. It's crazy how this artist keeps he keeps on like setting the bar like higher and higher almost. And yet somehow he's still able to manage this top level. Like it is not, there rarely does it go below a strong buy because he's able to maintain that level. It just blows my mind that he's able to do that. So yeah, strong buy and contender without a doubt. That being said, it is time for the commercial break, and I'm going to be talking about one of our sponsors, Age of Comics. I said I was going to mention this on the podcast because I just visited their store, and you might have to beat me to this thing because their store, first of all, is located in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We are you know, in New Mexico, and so that's where we go get comics. We try to, you know, what are the two comic book shops that are like closest to us. That's where we go. So an Age of Comics is one of them. And it's cool because they have two different systems, and it's cool. Their system is you just tell them what you want in your box. You just tell them, and they'll put it on a little index card. It's like a Rolodex. They're like old guys that aren't old, you know. But that's how they keep it. And then anytime you want to add, they add it on there, you know, so that when they're like boom, 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 and that's how they do it. It works for them. So, you know, you want a book, you want to make sure you get it because they do sell out over there a lot. That's what I've noticed. There's quite a few issues where I go, I'll just chance it. Nope, I need to add it because, and same thing, like Twins too. Those guys are busy too, so you better add it to your list. You better add it, you know, to your stuff that you want. So you get it. Like I said, they're located Osuna and San Mateo in this little shopping center. Near Breve and Crepes, which is a phenomenal place to go to. But anyways, so yeah. But here's this thing that I want to talk about, which is they have a Captain America Civil War figurine set that it's one box set that has 3 characters: Spider-Man, Tony Stark, Captain America. And I think they all 3 have different heads inside there. And it is it's only $20. Only $20. That's a freaking steal. And not only do I know that that's a steal, I know it's a steal because I checked at their same store because they have the Legends there as well, which are also pretty awesome. And I checked and I was like, how much are these Legends by themselves, the Build-A-Figure ones? I checked, $20. So these 3 figurines in one box is $20, same as one figurine by itself. Of course, it has a Build-A-Figurine thing, but nonetheless, you're only getting like one character. So if you don't get the whole set, that one, like the leg piece or whatever random piece you get with it is kind of a waste if you don't get the whole set, which is fine because some of them suck. Some of them are lame. Like the Doctor Strange set is lame. So I would not even bother getting the whole set. So anyways, point is, like, that's a freaking steal. They have so many great deals there on figurines like that. I even said, I was like, you guys know that this, like, if I buy this, I'm ripping you off because 3 figurines in one thing, like this should at least be $30, if not $40, just because of the fact that it has 3 figurines in one. And if you get one character in one box, you know, and that's $20, really it should be 60, you know, but it's not because it's not a Build-A-Figure. So you got to factor that in there. So, but still, I think it would be at least like $30 and it's not. So it's a hell of a deal. But yeah, they have all kinds of comics. They have a lot of indie comics. That's where I get a lot of my indie comics. I feel like they have just as much indie comics as they do Marvel and DC books. So it's really great. And they have all kinds of graphic novels. I always order graphic novels from them, and they get them like that. In fact, I can order like 10, and they'll get them all within like a week or two. It's insane. And then I have a stack of like 10 books in my box, and I get one a week, or I'll do it like every other week or something, just because I don't want to annoy them and scare them that I'm not going to buy the books, and they bust my chops, but I'm like, hey man, come on, huh? I can't be reading books this fast. I mean, I buy a lot of books every week, so it's hard to do graphic novels as well. But anyways, they have so many. In fact, they have Scalped Volume 1, I think. I really want to throw that in my box. In fact, the guy was like, Greg, I told him, I was like, oh man, I really wanted to get into Scalped. I heard it's really good. And he was like, throw it in your box if you want. And I was like, no, because if someone else wants to buy it before I do, I'll just leave it on there for them. Or if you guys want to read it, then I'll just leave it for them. So, but yeah, anyways, so yeah, that's how that is. And they will be moving soon, but they're going to stay open the whole time. And they're going to be in the same area, though, not too far away. I think it's only like a mile away. It's going to be down the road. So it's not far, just a bigger location so they can spread out, because they have Funko Pops. They have statues. They have figurines. Like I said, they have all kinds of back issues, like old school comics, which is really cool. And so they're going to do it like kind of like the Big Bang Big Bang Theory brothers. What? Big Bang Brothers? I think that's something else. But anyways, yeah, so make sure you check them out. Follow them on Facebook, because they post a video every week. So even if you don't live in the area, it's cool because they post a video of what they got in that week, whether it be figurines, Funko Pops, comics, whatever they got that week. They have it in this video that they post on Tuesday and everything like that. So it's really cool. It makes it really convenient to go like, hey, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to pick up. Okay, fantastic. It's really cool. So yeah, and as they do like giveaways for movies sometimes, and then they also do something else. What else do they do? Oh yeah, they have a website, Age of Comics now, so that you can buy comics through them, or you can buy whatever through them. But I think they mostly have it for their collectible comics. So they do have collectible issues like first appearances and like, high grade value comics. So I'm not that hardcore. Those guys are really hardcore about their comics. So yeah, so make sure you check them out. Cute. Let's get back to some books with Flash. 28, it's $2.99. Joshua Williamson is the right. He does script. Carmen Di Gianno Domenico does art. Hi-Fi does color. Steve Wands is letters. And so this one is interesting. It's negative part 1. They have these people there. What are they called? Like the freaking something or other. They're the Road Reapers, and their bikes are super fast. And it's crazy though, because the evil dude, Reverse Flash, he threw him into the negative Speed Force, and so now he has like negative Speed Force powers, and so his powers are destructive. Like it causes an explosion of this armored vehicle that he was trying to save, but he did save the people inside it, and they're like, hey man, we're used to villains destroying stuff, but like not you. And he's like, oh sorry, my powers are like out of whack and stuff. At work, they're like, hey, someone's stealing old evidence from old cold cases. I need you all to figure out what's going on with it. And he's like, I really don't want to do this right now. I just want to talk to Iris. And then he goes to stop these Road Reapers because they're right in front of the police station, where he's just like, sitting on the stairs and stuff. But something else is after him, an escaped inmate from the prison that Reverse Flash was at. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty messed up. It's pretty awesome. Strong buy. Contender. This is really interesting stuff, because if you know Flash, like his limitations and everything like that. But now they're throwing in something different with him being affected by the negative Speed Force. And so now he has to like get reacclimated to these things. And he doesn't even, in fact, he's like, I don't want to use my powers to speed to work because I don't want to destroy anything on my way to work. So he has to travel like a commoner, like the rest of us. It is crazy. It's like, wow, like that's one of the greatest perks of being him, even though he's always late anywhere. But he's even more late because he has to go stop bad guys and then travel like a commoner. It's really, really unique and different twist and turn. I love it. Strong buy, also a contender. Next, it's Miss Marvel, number 21. With G. Willow Wilson as the writer, Marco Faya is the artist, Ian Herring as the color artist, and then Joe Caramagna as the lettering. So yeah, this one is $3.99, of course. So it has the Digi code. And all right, so this group is they're piling in all these Inhumans into this truck to ship them out, and Miss Marvel's there, and then she's like, "Okay, I'll turn myself in if you let these people go." And then the people start fighting against her, and they're like, "No, don't give up," you know. And so she's like, "Yeah, you know, I gotta sometimes you gotta protect the few over the many, you know. If it's an injustice, you gotta do it. You know, you gotta stand up for justice." So they end up running to this, you know, it's the mosque and stuff to hide out, and then the people go there to attack them, and you know, they're like, "Hey, this is a place of worship," you know, and then she unmasks this dude that you didn't know who it was and stuff, and she's like, "How could you do this? You know, all your friends and all your family," and he's like, "You know what? None of you are my friends," and stuff like that, and then so. To kind of get, and he explains himself like why he did it, why he's part of this and everything like that. It's really, really interesting. It's really awesome. It's really crazy what she does at the end. So this is just getting better and better. I love this writer, and I really love this point of view that she does from this guy, because man, it's the power of being a writer. You know, when you write, you literally put yourself in the place of the characters you're writing, and you become them. Like and so you change like your brain chemistry to be this person that you are not even, you know, like you're raised this way, but you put yourself in this character that you created, and all of a sudden you're this person. And so you're able to create something like this from this point of view that is nowhere near your own. But in fact, it's the opposite of your own, maybe, and yet you get it across so clearly of like the disenfranchised, you know, or the people that feel disenfranchised, but they're not really, you know. For example, perfect example, all these people, all these Caucasian people that feel like, oh yeah, you know, all these, you know, people of other color, they get all this special treatment. And I don't. This is messed up. You know, like it's that type of thing that's this point of view that she gets across so well that you go, wow, like I get that person now, sort of. Superb. It's magnificent. It's a strong buy. It's contender. And it's also another code that I'm not going to give away. So on to the next books, which is Batman and Detective Comics 962. It's $2.99. We have James Tynion the fourth as the writer, Alvaro Martinez as pencils, Raul Fernandez as inks, Brad Anderson as colors, Sal Cipriano as letters, and it's Intelligence Finale Judgment Day. So it's weird because there's these two characters, and like one of them's drowning and one of them's a kid, and he's like, no, you deserve this and stuff. And then he like comes out and he's in this new suit. And so Azrael's in this new suit, and it looks epic and awesome. And so he fights this other suit, but I think it's just the suit. I don't think there's an actual person in there. And it's cool because Clayface uses like makes copies of himself to be this character that those robots are hunting and stuff. And he's like, oh, by the way, I was just stalling and stuff. And so then those two throw down. It's really freaking crazy and really hardcore and awesome to see him duke it out. I will say the star player, though, here is definitely Zatanna. She's just phenomenal. I love her. I wish there was more of her in this, but it's really interesting the things that she brings up, and then she gives this device to this character to like, or this machine that thinks it's omnipotent. And it's like, you think you know everything you don't. Here, this will show you everything, and it just like destroys it because it's like, oh, now I know. And then it also messes up Azrael as well a lot, and also reveals something to Batman that we have known for a while. So yeah, it was really cool. It was a solid finale. I would say that it was a strong buy, but not quite a contender. Art was really well done. Like I said, I just wish there was more Zatanna. I understand why they didn't, but the parts that she was in were the best. Maybe it's like, there were parts where I was like, why doesn't Zatanna just show up and take care of this problem? Which is essentially kind of what happened. So, yeah. Next, it's Captain America number 25. That's what it says at the top, even though it is technically Sam Wilson Captain America number 25. It just says Captain America. This is a Hell Hydra tie-in or Secret Empire or whatever. That's what I call it. It starts with this funny thing, which is, So let me get to the credits first. We have Nick Spencer as a writer, Jesus Saiz with Joe Bennett and Joe Pimentel as artist, Rochelle Rosenberg as color artist, Joe Caramagna as letter. And it's funny because it's the AI Tony Stark in one of his retro armors, and he can't blow out this candle on his cake, so he just blasts it. And then you have this blonde fellow, and he's in the Hydra colors, and he's delivering this speech, and it's a speech that sounds very much like the speeches Trump has been delivering a lot of time in his office. It's almost like a compilation of them. It almost seems like, and I think it turns out to be Steve Rogers. It just like, it could have been any blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy. So, and then it shows like the X-Men are getting attacked. There's this creature that looks blue, and I didn't know it was Beast because it's so badly drawn that it's like, that does not look like Beast at all. In fact, this whole part with the X-Men just didn't look that great. Even Emma Frost, she looked decent, but she still looked weird at times. There was that part was just not very good. And then there's a part where Wakanda gets attacked too. The art in that was better, but it like really pissed me off. There is actually a Nazi symbol on Zemo's sword. The guy that is attacking Black Panther, and you figure out why that is, that like they were able to get taken down. And then you have Sam Wilson is like does this speech to get them all together, and then now they're working with the Inhumans and stuff. And this guy, it's really interesting. It's a really solid issue. The best part was the ending, though. The character that they revealed, which I knew he was still around. It's comics for one, but I just knew it. This is a one. Gives me conflicting feelings. So it's like there's some really awesome parts, and there's some parts where I'm like, that's kind of dumb. I don't really like that. So, and then the art fluctuates. There's also multiple artists, so that's why. But nonetheless, I feel like they should all still be consistently good, especially if you're using multiple artists. They should all be on the same level. So, because I go like, hey, all these different artists are doing this different thing, and I understand that it's kind of like a thematic thing, because it was like, hey, this part's this part, and this part's, with this artist is the X-Men stuff, and this artist is the Wakanda stuff, and this artist is this stuff. That's fine. In fact, because they're working in chunks, they should be doing that stuff should look better overall, because they're just doing a few pages each. That wasn't the case. Some stuff looked really great and was superb and practically flawless, and others where it was like, ooh, I did not like it. So I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to give it a buy. I'm going to give it a buy because of that. Even though there were some really good points, there were some really good parts. Here's digital code. B for Baron, Z for Zemo, M for Marvel, V for Villain, M for Marvel, D for Dan, 7, J for Jim, 1, 0, F for Frank, L for Logan. Now on to Superman Action Comics 965. And it's $2.99. We have Rob Williams as a writer, Gilla March as the artist. Hi-Fi does color, Rob Lay on letters. It's Only Human Part 1. You have Superman. He's lifting this submarine. He's on the phone with Lois, or the earpiece, and she's like, hey, you need a break, and not just the one that we just had from Superman. And so then this city gets attacked by these wolves. They're like giant wolves, though, as well as these other thugs and stuff. And it turns out it's another villain. Machinist has these chips on people's necks, and then he's like, oh, hey, this is a Luthor chip. So he goes to Luthor and he's like, yeah, this is your fault. And he's like, come on, haven't we gotten a little trust? And he's like, nope. And so he's like, all right, I'm going to go stop this. Turns out it was a setup. The guy planned this, and he planned it perfectly so that he could use Luthor against Superman. So well done, well crafted. I will say some of the art is a little iffy. It was also very, it seemed very classic, though. It was very Neil Adams style art, which isn't a bad thing. I kind of like that, but like I said, some of it was a little inconsistent. I want to give it a strong buy, but not a contender. Now it is time for Old Man Logan, number 27. This issue's already spoken for. Ed Brisson is the writer. Mike Deodato Jr. is the artist. Frank Martin is the colorist. So this one, it's in the past. It's Logan in the wastelands, in his own timeline or whatever it was. And so Old Man Logan and Hawkeye, and they're camping out to stop these people that are killing their pigs or stealing their pigs or whatever. And then it goes back to, and he's just explaining hey, this is life now. This is just how it is. And then he wakes up, and it's the Hillbilly Hulks, and they are shooting him. They have him chained up to this giant pillar, and they're just gunning him down to knock him out. They're just stalling him. And then one of the Hulks is talking to Maestro, who is in his human form, and is like, hey, what's going on? She has doubts and stuff. And so he has a little mole, keep an eye on her and stuff in case he does what she's been suspecting. Of course, Hulks being Hulks, they're stupid, especially Hillbilly Hulks. So Logan uses that to his advantage, and he plays them and pisses them off so that he can get loose. And that's what he does. And he's like, oh, man, I'm really messed up, but I'm going to do what I can do. And so, yeah. And then the ending, it's kind of it comes around. That's all I'm going to say. It's really solid. It's really great. I really like it. I love this artist. I think he's phenomenal. I love the way he does paneling. It's very unique, and it's superbly done. This is great. I really like this because they're bringing up a lot of things that even you as the reader go, which is, hey, how are the Hillbilly Hulks here when he killed them all? How is Maestro here? Because he doesn't even know, Old Man Logan doesn't know who Maestro is. So he's confused, and it's great because they explain some of that stuff. Not completely, but they're giving you breadcrumbs. I like that. So yeah, this is most definitely a strong buy and a contender. Which, you know what that means? That means it's time for the announcement for runner-up and back and bag of the week. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with shoot. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Jean Grey, number 5, as my runner-up. It was so amazing. It was phenomenal issue. I love it. Like I said, great character work. You pretty much already heard why I said why, as well as my back and bag of the week. Why it's such an amazing issue, Miss Marvel number 21. So I pretty much already said it already. So that's it. I don't really have to say much more, but I will say besides that, the other one was definitely Flash, because they're just adding this element that is so unique and so great. So, but yeah, that's it. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Yeah, that's it for now. Tell me what your back and bag is, what your runner-up is, what you graded any of these books, or if you got the digital code, what you thought of it, as well as if people can figure out that, that song. I have 2 issues to give away. So, yeah. So by all means. answer it for me. Right now, I don't really have much of a talking nerdy going on. I think it's the PlayStation Plus games are still the Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry, which is the Adewale DLC from Black Flag. I still haven't had the chance to play it. Hopefully I'll get to do that tonight, but I'm probably going to be editing this. So, and then there's also Just Cause 3, which I've played on the Xbox 360. I think I got most of the achievements. I'll see if JD can do some gameplay of that since I've already played it. And then I don't really care what's on Xbox Gold because I've checked it and it's not anything that interests me right now. So I'm not gonna really talk about that. I haven't really been able to do much else. I'm up to date on Game of Thrones though, which the last episode of Game of Thrones was epic. I know not the one that's coming out tonight, which I will probably hopefully get to watch live or a little afterwards. So that's been great, as well as Rick and Morty. I'm really excited for that. I think that one, the newest episode, came out Saturday, so I do want to watch that as well before I go to bed. But the Pickle Rick episode was freaking awesome and fantastic. So yeah, it was phenomenal. So if you don't watch those, you should watch them. And I think that's it. I'm still like in training, so I don't have time to do anything to do much else, as well as the Nerdy Fitness vlog is kind of like, it's kind of on the rails. Because for the second week in a row, I'm not doing 2 workouts. I'm only doing 1 workout a day, and it's after work, and sometimes it's, it's directly after work, and sometimes it's a couple hours after work. So I'm not taking a complete break because I still want to keep up with my fitness, but I don't want to I don't want to stop entirely. I'm still trying to eat healthy. It's just really weird trying to balance like my food with my workout, because it's like I'm not working out as much, so I need less of this, or I need more of this, or I can eat smaller meals because I'm not working out so much, you know what I mean? So it's interesting. And then I know there hasn't been many other videos. I'm trying to edit videos, but unfortunately right now I'm the only one that's editing videos right now, and my at-home schedule is very busy, so I haven't had a lot of time to edit videos, but I'll put some out as soon as possible. Like I said, I still have a couple Albuquerque Comic-Con, and I will harass Mason for more Duke City Comic-Con because it's been a while since he did that. Yes, I'm calling you out. And what else? More, and of course the I want to do video and review of the Assassin's Creed and Just Cause. If I have to do both of them, I'll do it. I'll get it done if I have to do everything myself, which I have been mostly, for the most part, here on Talk Nerdy to Me, the show, website, and everything else. So 100%, almost 100% run by me. But of course I love having the other guys with me. They're a great help. I love, them being in on the podcast with me, because even though I just feel like it's better with other people. So anyways, that's enough rambling on for me. I've spilled my guts enough. So remember, you can check all our stuff out at TNTM the Show. That's our website, Facebook, Instagram, which I've been slacking on because I really don't have much to put on there. In fact, I have a question, which is, should I put my Nerdy Fitness vlog stuff on there? Like, not so much the vlog, but just the progress or lack thereof progress of photos. Because I feel like maybe I should do that on a personal, but I don't have my own personal Instagram. So I'm like, should I do it? Because it is for the website. I don't know. So anyways, yeah. Tell me what you think. There's also Tumblr, Facebook, Twitter, all that goodness. And yeah. So stay nerdy, planet Earth. Oh yeah, keep your eyes hungry for comics.